If you think freedom means that you can break the rules of society and just get away with it, then we have taught you a wrong thing at St. Gregory College. Unfortunately, this weekend has passed, and there are a number of people who are going to be living with the consequences of what they have done. The two of you can take a seat. What do you think we should do, the SRC and I should do, to persuade you that drinking while at St. Gregory College is not a good idea, and bunking out without permission is not a good idea, and being used by boys is probably the least helpful thing that you can do in your life. Never let yourself be used by other people.
Lawrence Nodder is the principal at St. Gregory College, a private boarding school for black students in Natal. Founded in the last days of apartheid, it became a haven for children whose education was still being disrupted in the townships.
I've been here now for 2.5 years, trying to bring some stability, but also to develop appropriate educational methodology in a changing South Africa, in a new South Africa. And that's what we try and do at St. Gregory College, through involving students in all sorts of committee work, through getting the students to take important decisions about the running of the school.
The black culture is the children will be very subservient. The teacher is like the parent. You will listen and do exactly as I say. And our children have learnt there's another culture which has been very new to them, of whites always saying, but tell me why, argue with me, negotiate. And that's very foreign to them. And we have maybe forced our children into arguing, into negotiating, and they're going to cope better with the real world out there. They're going to be able to stand on their own 2 feet.
And then you're allowed to choose which two of your geometry tests. Well, I'm open to negotiation. Do you want to write on Friday?
Yes.
Geometry?
Yes.
I will discard one at your request. I don't think in a new South Africa I could operate a school in the old style as a white principal with a predominantly black students. And if I tried to do that, we would get into endless conflict situations that we would not have the skills to manage our way out of.
But conflict is hard to avoid. Some of the older boys flaunt the rules by strolling out of the school gates in broad daylight, down to one of the huts which surrounds the school. These are shebeens, where beer and marijuana are sold illegally. Their trips to the shebeen happen each day, and though Mr. Nodder patrols here, the pupils find it easier than ever to break the rules.
I think the impact that it has had on the teachers is that they have started listening to us, listening to what we have to say, because now it's more like it is us who are in power, no more the white national party. With the change of the new South Africa, nationally and also here at school, in the context of the school, it has had, it is difficult for whites especially, I think, of changing, from the position they were in during the old South Africa, and also, to relating to us, of course, like more or less like now, we are all like equal. And so, yeah, it is putting, the whites especially in a bad position.
Come here, baby. Here. Come here, baby.
Mr. Nodder has to deal with the same adolescent problems as any headmaster. But in the new South Africa, black children see themselves as having a lot to prove. So much so that teachers often struggle to enforce even the school's most fundamental rules.
Come on. Hi guys.
Hi sir.
How are you? Is Woozy feeling sick?
No.
Is he feeling hungover?
Maybe.
Yeah. Sit up.
How many did you get tonight?
2.
Oh.
We will have a disciplinary hearing, I'm afraid, on Monday.
Why?
Your dear friend Ntutuko, that side of the classroom, was found in the girls' dormitory. I'm tired of people saying, making these rumours.
So you want to prove them?
To what extent it's prevalent practice, and to what extent it is something that might happen very occasionally. Okay.
That is the fashion around here, I'm telling you. It's the trend. Okay, you heard me. We it's like, well, I haven't been really down the boys' dorm sneaking it now, but I've been there broad daylight. Hey, I walk in there. I'm like, hey, coast is clear, walk in there, listen to music, play. The teachers are trying to be all strict and stuff, but I think they should quit because nobody's really listening to them, you know? With freedom comes responsibility, definitely, because if you forced to do stuff that you don't feel free to do, you're never going to learn anything, and you're never going to teach yourself to you're not going to have self-discipline, you know what I mean?
Hi there. Is it still Sabatle?
No.
No. Oh, no. Okay, we're just providing the electric light that was missing. No, I don't like them in dark corners. But I'd much rather have them in those little corners than copulating under the bushes somewhere.
I mean, you must remember there's a lot of us who a lot of our fogies who can be very authoritarian at times and dictatorial. And Lawrence will always bring that balance back and make you think. He will always take the children's side. And then it makes you think again. Look, hang on, we're running away here. We're being like our parents used to be, you know, let's get the children involved.
It's difficult for them to all of a sudden know what to do and how to deal with them because they haven't grown up with them. Well, those are fruits of apartheid. And it's still going to take quite a long time before, well, a white person understands a black person fully.
As a white principal, I'm slightly out of the main line of authority in the country. And that maybe has eroded my position a little. I can live with that. And maybe for the teachers as well, it has eroded some of the authority that they might have had.
And I hope
White authority is out of date, so the school promotes self-governance in the form of a Student Representative Council, or SRC. In this fledgling democracy, proper use of power is slowly learned. Here children debate punishments for peers who are up to no good at the weekend. For minor offences, the SRC will put the offender to work in the garden. But the student council and the principal may disagree over punishments for more serious issues.
The SRC has agreed that I have a right to manage the school, and they have a right to be consulted. I would have to back down if they can demonstrate that I have not consulted them. That is an understanding we have, and I have from time to time tried to take a shortcut and been brought short by the SRC.
This weekend was a very heavy weekend.
2 girls were found in the court. 2? Wow. It's Shirley. Oh, Tandy. What about Tandy? Tandy was drunk. And Mary was caught drunk.
She couldn't walk. She didn't know where she was. She didn't know what her name was. She was caught with the guy.
No. Shirley tonight.
They were sitting.
They were sitting on top of the bed because Shirley was sitting. Like,
But as Shirley says, she covered herself with a blanket.
what kind of punishments can we give to Shirley? Can we think of giving to Shirley before we are called in the office tomorrow? Because if it's a surprise, then we won't think of any other punishments and Shirley will be suspended. So it's skating and hard labor, if I can remember well.
I mean, that's what I meant. The 2 girls is different. Again, he was found sitting alone. So he's gonna get easy labor, not that hard. Usually no Makarova will be on uniform in the morning taking away the dustbins to the rubbish, whatever, dump, in uniform, and scrubbing that front floor because it needs to be scrubbed.
I don't mind what the troubles may be. I don't care what it costs to be.
Black children are given a rare opportunity at St. Gregory's to govern themselves. An hour's walk away, almost in another world, is a farm school called Hatting's Hope. It's far more typical of black education. Anna, a volunteer, teaches in both schools.
I also teach over a local farm school, which has nothing to do with St. Gregory's. And I teach 3 classes, 3 English classes and a geography class.
Remember to write your name at the top. You can start as soon as you've got them. Okay, standard 4. Do you all understand? Yeah? Okay.
The apartheid regime channeled most of its resources and funding into white schooling. Here, space is so limited that English and maths are taking place at the same time. And the children at Hatting's Hope are far less outspoken than the wealthier students at St. Greg's. Cornelius, once a student at Hatting's Hope, recently won a scholarship to St. Gregory's. Like most of the farm school children who come here, he is flourishing.
Yeah, there is discipline there. Yeah, in Hatting's Hope. Because the teachers from there, they use a stick. Yeah. When you do the bad thing, they're going to beat. Yeah. But here, they don't use a stick. The teachers from there.
Are you working with Cornelius, where's the paper?
I don't know.
You have to start again. Satisfied.
Yeah, you're supposed to write it again. Okay, come on, you're going to write the
Cornelius, all I can hear is your voice.
Yes, sir.
Now you work together quietly.
Answer the question. Answer the question.
1A, what time I eat food? Why do you eat food?
We eat food so that we can put energy.
Next question. Next question.
What kind of food do you like?
Junk food, ma'am.
Junk food.
Okay.
The white people, they don't use stick. They tell you and explain to you.
So how do they give you, what punishments do they give you here?
To write the lines or to work in the garden. That's
When the black people realized who were working at the mines that they were being exploited because they were working long and heavy and dangerous work for a small amount of money, they decided to leave the mines.
So the pass system, the black had to carry his pass with him, and that proved in the towns that he was employed. Does that answer your question? So it all boils down to control of the workers.
South African school books have traditionally focused on a white version of history. Today, history classes are dominated by recent black political events.
In a typical night's patrol with the flying squad of Soweto, this man was arrested, bullied, harassed and imprisoned for failing to produce his ID documents.
The students devour anything they can get, which celebrates and illustrates their victories over apartheid. Often sent here by their parents to avoid the political violence in the townships, it has still been impossible for for them to remain unaffected by the struggle.
And what actually happens on this.
I am not yet born. Console me. I fear that the human race may with tall walls wall me, with strong drugs dope me, with wise lies lure me, on black racks wreck me, in blood beds roll me. I am not yet born.
You take the car, you take the security system, and you shoot that guy dead.
After the assassinations of Comrade Christian, as you might know that there was that rumor that they found the hit list, so I've decided to write my own hit list, and then the teachers who were involved. The first one was the principal, the second one was the geography teacher.
It was just before the election. I walked into the class and Reggie had a gun, and he pointed the gun. He said, "The war has begun."
People were smelling blood when they said there was going to be a civil war, so I told them that I was ready for civil war. If I see any poor, and then tell for that poor. That was about it.
And I actually didn't know what to do. And my husband always said, never show fear. And I thought, well, and I walked to Reggie, grabbed the gun, threw it on the locker and said, yes, and so has Afrikaans. And the class were absolutely shattered. You could have dropped a pin.
With freedom, as you all know, comes responsibility. And one's responsibility to show that one uses their freedom quite intelligently is by using your freedom in a way that will not affect the next person. And so, as you all know, South Africa is a rainbow nation. And the question of culture has been a big issue.
In the past, there was overt antagonism towards the white teachers. Today, though, students find themselves both fascinated by Western culture as well as proud that they are finally allowed to celebrate their own African roots.
The museum, yeah, it was great. Those hats, they call them Nguni hats. There by in the hut inside, there's something like a half moon shaped inside, and that's where the king used to put meal, beer, and meat for the spirits, so to make the spirits happy. And that's where he used to put his animals, nakra. You know, from the school I came from, there were black teachers, mostly black teachers, who taught us about white people, mostly. You know, the Boers, the tractors, and all that stuff. They taught about the white people. But when I come here, I come to find that white teachers teach us about black people, which is peculiar.
White teachers do now get a tentative thumbs up, but some students admit they only accept them out of expediency. Integration between blacks and whites sometimes still seems a long way off.
It might be the new South Africa, but don't forget where you come from. You know?
Exactly. For a white boy, it would be easy to say, I like the car. My pop's going to get me the car. Because I like the car. I'm going to get it one day, which is 10, 20 years time when you work. And he's 18 and he's driving. We still have the prejudice in us, like...
You know, always judging.
Exactly.
Automatically judging.
That's why whenever you get some problems, just say, white boy. White boy.
Wouldn't you like to have some white boys here with you at school?
Hell no. No.
Tell me why.
I mean, the white boys.
Are you guys different from the white boys?
Yeah,
I don't think so.
The lifestyle is different. Even the music, everything is different.
I think no more than St. Gregory College are we aware of water, am I right? Or must we say the lack of water? Ons is baie bewus van water hierso. Because we're battling for water, I think we're very much more aware of water resources, of dams, of boreholes that have dried up.
They're discussing the shortage of water. It's a problem with deep connotations, In the 1930s, this was a white school, when many teachers and pupils died from bad borehole water. It's something the teachers don't mention to their superstitious children.
I think you've got to learn, there's no water. So you have your little early morning wash in this little puddle of water, and you're going to have to learn to use that puddle of water to also wash your undies, etc., etc. Is that not conserving water?
And to flush the toilet.
You're going to have to use that to scoop out and put into the toilet.
When the school reopened over 50 years after the tragedy, it was as an Anglican school with a deeply religious outlook. At the same time, Lawrence Nodder aims to be at the vanguard of a new and democratic South African education system. But Martin Luther King would not have sanctioned the fact that there are only 2 black teachers at St. Gregory's, not in the face of it overly progressive. Zulu teacher Dr. Sitole thinks the Western influence in the school is already too entrenched.
Most of them are losing their mother tongue, the beauty of their mother tongue, which you see in the implications of the language.
She too strict, Dr. Stone. Yeah, then others teacher. If you do the something bad in class, or you come in class, your shit is out, you didn't see, she say go outside and water in the garden, or take the spade to dig out the garden. Yeah, but the white teachers, they don't mind.
Their parents have the same attitude that if a child, their child is taught by a white person, they will be able to speak English well. But what is permissible in white culture is not generally permissible in black culture. For instance, falling in love just publicly, you see. Whereas children at this stage would actually be punished if they were found to have fallen in love.
I think for a lot more of the children, there's some sort of existential finding out who we really are, and in many ways a rejection of the values of the parents. There's no doubt about it in my mind, but that teachers normally should be role models in the lives of young people. I think people are being very confused about this issue of white teachers with black students, and I think it's still confusing.
White teachers don't actually know how we behave, but black teachers do, Like, how can I express this? It's just that they don't know how we behave, and we're quite familiar to how they want us to be. So in front of them, we pretend to be this, and when we go the other way, we are what we are.
White teachers, I like them a lot because they are the people who are qualified. They're the people who know the work, and they're the people, they give us less strikes, so they don't give us as much hell. And the thing is, we have to exploit them because they know everything. And until we've done that, we mustn't leave them. We mustn't let them go. We mustn't tell them, go teach white kids, because white kids know all this stuff, so they have to teach us because we don't know the stuff they've been exposed to yet.
My policy is that if I can find a reasonably qualified black teacher who I think could fit into the ethos of the school, I would appoint that person.
Their parents brought them mainly to white teachers so that they could learn English specifically. I think they should be happy that they're taught mainly by white teachers.
It's rehearsal time for Miss St. Gregory's, the school's beauty contest, and also the biggest, hottest event in the calendar. Esther, president of the student council, is running the show. In an election, she was voted in to negotiate with the teachers on thorny issues. When staff-pupil relations break down, she usually takes the blame.
Candidates do campaign, and then from the speeches they give, maybe, and the posters, they said students, elect them from that. I didn't do any posters. I'm not very artistic. I just had a speech, and that's how I got elected. Being honest, the students choose the SRC for one reason: to get into the office, to talk for them, and to get out. Yes, definitely.
Sure.
Esther and Mr. Nodder are having trouble deciding on a suitable date for the Miss St. Gregory's beauty contest. It always turns into a bit of a riot, so none of the staff are keen to police the event.
So we've got 3 Saturdays left this term. One of them is actually not a Saturday. We've really got 2 Saturdays left. The 9th is out, and as far as I'm concerned, the 16th is also out.
If it's not at night, they don't want me St. Gregory's College.
That means that we have to pick a date when I can be on duty, because I would be prepared to do that when I'm on duty.
When is that?
It's a matter of finding a date.
Yes, I have to go to class now.
Yeah, history?
Yes, history, and I missed my tea break. I don't know, you can see he's all grumpy, but we'll see how things go to after the student body meeting. Hey!
These students have the unprecedented confidence to break white teachers' rules. They're also the elite of South African blacks, the future leaders. For some of the poorer pupils and scholarships who started out at farm schools like Hatting's Hope, the children from richer families are abusing their freedom and throwing away something millions of South Africans will never have.
Those people who play with alcohol, and drugs, they're wasting their parents' money. But like us, those people who come with a bursary here, they work harder. They work harder because they know they're not rich in our homes.
Those girls in those dorms, and I said this to you before and I will say it very firmly again, cannot survive without water. It is not to the school's credit to say, oh, the school's done really well that we haven't broken up until now. It's a shame that they should have to be putting up with this. They just can't keep themselves and their clothes clean.
Some things never change, like the day-to-day headaches of running a remote school that stands on parched Natal soil. But South African society remains in constant flux as black, coloured and white continue to search for their role in the new status quo.
The Drake River doesn't flow anymore.
Unlike the principal, most of the teachers are employed locally and are grappling more than anyone with today's changes after a lifetime of apartheid.
Lots of these people have not had a shower for the last 2-3 weeks.
With freedom comes responsibility, is how one of the school's most quoted mottos goes. But Esther has had enough of the responsibility of running the SRC, as she thinks she gets no support.
I've reached a decision where I'm resigning as president and as a member of the SRC committee, because I feel that I'm jeopardizing my social life and my academic life. I have pressures which are unbelievable. People are constantly dependent on me and not choosing the rest of the SRC body. I can scream! My resignation from SRC as member and president. I was expecting pressure, but I just feel that the pressure in the SRC is not being shared, and I'm the only one. I'm the only one who's actually feeling that I'm in the SRC. I'm not the SRC, basically, and that's the way everyone has been seeing me from. That I'm basically every single thing that goes on around there. People shouldn't just elect an SRC because they feel like having elections, or they just have to have the elections.
Have you spoken to the other members?
Oh yes. They're confused. They don't know. They think I'm joking.
But fellow students are not understanding. They expected accountability in their elected leader. She's not supposed to resign without consulting the school.
I feel that the issue of the resignation of the president of the SRC was dealt with inadequately, in a sense that there wasn't any consultation to the student body who elected the president of the SRC.
It would seem to me that the issue of Esther's resignation is, in fact, lack of support and too many expectations. And if that is an election issue, then that's quite an exciting election issue.
She's showing her weak side. I think she should have, first of all, consulted the SRC and tell them how she felt about resigning before she took such a major decision, since she campaigned and she is there and she's committed, so she has to stay until the end.
Some of the consequences, I would imagine, would be that student leadership starts to unravel. And then the student body looks more and more back to the staff for leadership.
Tell me, where shall I go? Tell me, where shall I go? I'm standing by the river with my song.
With or without Esther's organisation, the Miss St Gregory's beauty competition goes ahead, with a dozen girls competing for the coveted title. Lorato was last year's Miss St Gregory.
I know in some cases you have to defend your crown, but in most cases like Miss World, she's not supposed to get in for the next year, you see.
Our first princess will be number 5.
After the outcome, then there was a problem, People weren't very happy with it. So I think the mistake that was done by the judge was they didn't explain why she was the Miss St Gregory's.
I think that I was the best model than the other guys.
The end of term is here, Miss St Greg's has been crowned, and the students are partying. Boys are breaking the rules by hanging around the girls' dorms. Tonight, the children are out of control.
We have to entertain ourselves. We are bored at school. Shit is finished. It's finished.
It didn't help that a lot of the children have been drinking, so with the she being so close by and the party going on, it's very easy to be lured over the fence to get something to drink. With having a co-ed school, I think it is just sensible actually to lock the girls' dorm. We used to be able to lock the boys' dormitory, but the locks are broken, so we don't lock them in anymore. But we are quite aware that they do have their own keys. But I think this is a way of discipline. It's too late, you've got to sleep out in the cold now. It's too late, Yvonne. 9:30 the doors get locked. Where have you been?
And I don't feel like going home.
I know that apartheid will never be over. I mean, it can be over visibly, but not in someone's heart, you see. But in that way, I mean, I don't mind. But I know that whatever I want, I will get if I work hard for it. I mean, I'm not expecting for everything to come there because it's a new South Africa democracy, because I'm black and then I'll get some chances. No, I have to work for it.
There's no need to and I think
in the beginning, it's this big thing. Everybody says to you, you're white going to teach black. But the longer you teach, the less you see color and the more you see a naughty or a good face.
How we describe a bad time at this school is how many people got caught, smoking, how many people got suspended, expelled, that kind of thing. So since nobody was caught drinking or smoking or suspended for that matter, then I think it was a good time.
Well, I just know that the world has its own punishment. That's what we're saying. Well, they're going to face the world because we have done our best, really done our best.
I mean, we're exposed to all type of things here. Like, we have good education here. We get up to no good. It's all, it's all equal. Basically, what I think about the school is that it broadens your education as well as your corrupt side.
We thought this is a better school. Yes. And it's not that we thought it is a better school, and it's doing so well. The reports that we're getting from this school is doing very well. Even today we have been informed that he's a very hard worker and he's going to go very far.
Some people find it hard to take responsibility for their own lives. I find that a sadness, and those people would probably do better in a more authoritarian structure. But for the most, I think we do succeed, and I think as students leave here, they discover that the life skills that they've been taught here are the skills that stand them in good stead.
I need a friend who is my tears away. Tell me where shall I go, but to my Lord.
Hey, short, it's my name.
Tell me where shall I go? Tell me where shall I go? I'm standing by the river with my soul.